I just always think it's so interesting that sometimes your clients do know better than you. It doesn't matter what your data says. They know what's going on in their world much more than you do. They're an expert in what they do. You're an expert in what you do. And it's okay to take feedback from your clients sometimes. And those have been some of our most successful campaigns.
This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day, carefully crafted for you by humans. So meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Philly Made podcast, the podcast where we build community by learning more about our fellow Philly friends in the business world. In our episode today, we talk about marketing strategies that definitely work and definitely don't, listening to your customers' feedback even if you think you know better, and the most risque businesses looking for SEO assistance. Stay tuned, it's a doozy. I'm your host, Shannon, Penji's partnership coordinator, and I'm joined here with a very special guest today, Marc, Brookland, founder and president of SEOlocale here in Philly. And viewers at home, don't forget that this podcast is powered by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. If you're interested in using our services, head over to our website, penji.co, and sign up using the code SEOlocale15, which is located in the description. Now on to the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Really excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. And so looking into your business, I was actually really moved by the story of how your business started out. I'm very happy with anyone who doesn't want to rip people off. People who are genuinely good people is a great thing to see in the business world. You don't see it as often as you would like. Would you be able to tell our audience a little more about that?
Yeah. So my dad used to own a pharmacy. He's since sold and retired, but he had a pharmacy in Bensalem. And he was working with a large agency, paying a decent amount of money, somewhere, $1,000 or more a month. And once I kind of got enough experience and understanding about SEO and felt confident in running campaigns myself, he asked me if I could, manage his stuff. Of course, I said yes. So, started doing my thing, and then he canceled services with them. And like 2 weeks later, his website is just like gone. And I'm like, hey, Dad, what'd you do? And he's like, Marc, I have no idea what happened. I have no idea what anyone did. I don't pay attention to any of this stuff. All I know is that you called me and the website is down. I said, oh, well, let me call these people and see what happened. So these people were renting my dad's website to him, which I mean, you're looking like that's crazy. It's actually not that uncommon these days.
Oh my goodness.
But he obviously had no clue. He had no idea. So no one told him. So when he canceled services, he lost all of his website files. He had the domain, just not the file. So it was just a blank site.
Oh my God.
So, I spend an hour on the phone screaming at this guy, for basically, I don't know if I can curse, but being a piece of shit.
You can do whatever you want.
That was pretty much where it ended. So I cobbled together this horrific website. And I'm not a developer. And thank God my partner, one of my best friends, Nick, he took time to fix my garbage website into something that is actually presentable. So got this website up. It took me probably like a week to get something sort of up, and then Nick fixed it. It took him another couple days. But by the time I looked at, all the rankings that we had and the traffic that he was getting, I mean, the damage is already done. It's hard to come back from that. So it took me a few months before I could get his rankings back to where they were. And it really, really screwed him over. And that was really the catalyst of SEOlocale. Just trying to be an honest digital marketing agency that these small businesses can work with and trust, being affordable, being transparent with them. It sounds crazy because I feel like I'm describing like basic,
decency.
And like basic human, how to treat each other or like treat people. But that's really it. And that was why we got started, specifically trying to work with small local businesses. We've obviously grown quite a bit since then, but that will always be the core of SEOlocale. It'll always be the backbone of SEOlocale, working with these small local businesses.
That's really great to hear because, again, I even said earlier, you don't hear that a lot, unfortunately. And yeah, it is just basic human decency, but a lot of people actually don't have that or don't apply that in their daily lives because the focus is always to make money and not to actually care about people. So that's really lovely. That's like one of the reasons that we're even doing this podcast is because we learned that a lot of services like ours were trying to create knowledge bases, but they were doing them for a price. And we just want to be able to give that information to people for free because why not?
Right.
If we were not confident in our work, maybe we'd charge a price. But we want everyone to be able to have access to the same information that we do. And we just are confident in our work enough that we don't think anyone's going to be able to surpass us just because they have the information that we have,
Information should always be free.
I agree completely. So speaking of information, could you describe your marketing strategy and what kind of tends to work for you? What are some things that really do not work that you've learned?
That's probably the better question. What didn't work? SEO has always been our bread and butter. Since I started SEOlocale, I started building an SEO campaign. Of course, it took a long time for it to really start to work for me. But building out the SEO campaign, especially during COVID, has always been our number one traffic driver, lead generator. We have a hybrid approach where we're focusing. I guess it's maybe even 3-pronged or 4-pronged, but we're targeting locally all throughout the area, even not just Greater Philadelphia, but we have local campaigns set up all throughout the country. We target nationally, so we target different industries that are common in the digital marketing space. We have some international campaigns set up, so we have a lot of different things that we're doing with our SEO strategies to try to bring in business, which has always been by far, go figure, the most successful marketing strategy for us. The one thing that I have always tried to, round peg square hole, is cold outreach, specifically like LinkedIn outreach, or cold email blasting, those kinds of things. And I believe that they work for other people or other industries. Just for us, it has never, ever, ever worked.
I can understand that.
I don't know why. I have colleagues who say how well it works. For us, it's just never ever worked. And for some reason, I keep trying to make it work. And it wasn't until relatively recently, my partner and I were just like, all right, we're done with this. Enough of this LinkedIn stuff.
No, I get that. I struggle with LinkedIn sometimes too for outreach, especially. I think it just, a lot of people think it's spam, whether you, as personable as you can be,
yeah,
think it's spam.
Yes.
People will be like, this is someone trying to get something from me. I don't feel like dealing with this. But then we'll answer an email, which is really weird because if anything, sometimes I feel like an email is kind of creepy. Like, how do you get my email? Like, but then people like LinkedIn is just this social media for professionals, and it's easier. I mean, you can find out way more information about someone on a LinkedIn page than you can just finding their email through some service that you find their email on. So I don't know. The email feels like a stretch for finding people and feels more of like a personal, like,
Yeah.
But yeah, for whatever reason, LinkedIn is a weird place. I definitely agree.
It's definitely become, I imagine that it's become something way more than what LinkedIn thought that it would be. I mean, it's become, like you said, like a Facebook, but for like professionals. So it's kind of a weird dynamic.
It's a very strange place. It is funny that it's become this this thing that people feel like if you're in the professional world and you have LinkedIn now, it's weird. Like, it's like a red flag for businesses, and I think that's so strange because it's only new. I know people have had it for a while, but it's a very new in its popularity. So I thought that was just very interesting that people's whole professional lives are on this service.
Yeah, I mean, it's really blown up. And there are people who spend a ridiculous amount of time on LinkedIn, commenting on stuff, sharing stuff, writing articles on stuff. And I mean, for a lot of people, it works for them. And I totally get that. It's just never for us.
I get it. Outreach on LinkedIn is rough.
Yeah.
But so you have been doing marketing for at least 10 years now, right? I looked into your LinkedIn page, which is not creepy.
Yeah.
So what kind of advice would you give yourself starting out with the knowledge that you have now?
I think the biggest thing that I would tell myself is to be smarter about how you work on the business versus in the business. And bring in the help where you need it. So, for example, when I first started, I did my own bookkeeping for like 3 years. That was a disaster. I didn't know that I needed like any of these different, levels of insurance. I didn't even know that I needed like an EIN number. I didn't know anything. So it would have been nice to try to connect with maybe like, some kind of coach or anyone. I mean, I should have just asked my parents, I guess, who started their own businesses. The other really big thing is business development. And that's something that to a degree, I've always tried to have some help in instead of taking it over just fully myself. And over the last few years, just letting other people come in. Not that they were bad or necessarily or anything like that. It's just that Nick and I have always done it better. It's our business. It's our service. We're the experts. We're the professionals. So when it comes to growing the business and doing sales and all those things, it's never been better than when we're in charge of it, and we don't need the help there. There are other aspects of the business that we should be letting go of and letting other people take more control in while we're the ones building the business up. And that was just an aspect of the business that I've always kind of tried to get help in, where we really didn't need the help there. We should have had it in other places.
Yeah, I understand that. It's hard to find people that will just be comfortable and want to actually grow the business and care about it enough to want to get it to the same point that you do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of things. I mean, at the end of the day, salespeople are sales people, and not that they don't care about their job or the company or anything like that. But a lot of times, I think at least in my experience, what it's been is salespeople just get tunnel vision and, all right, I need to get this sale, and they don't really care how it's done. They might, whether intentional or not, they might say something that isn't necessarily true, or maybe overpromise, underdeliver, whatever the case might be. And that has always sort of been a detriment, which isn't something that Nick and I would do. I mean, no matter what, we never, at the expense of anything, will do whatever it takes to get a sale. If the sale works and it makes sense and we're the right fit and they're the right fit, then yeah, we'll do whatever we can to get that sale. But, if someone's coming to us like, oh, I only have about $3,000 to invest in my digital marketing, you think you can help me? We would never say, yeah, we can definitely help you out. Let's get you set up on $1,000 a month plan, because we just don't have enough time. We're never going to be able to make that work. Whereas I think, a salesperson might just say like, oh, I'm going to make the sale, get some commission, whatever happens later, not really my problem, that kind of thing.
That makes a lot of sense. It's good to have realistic expectations, even if you do want the sale. It makes sense to know what you can do and what you can't. I think that's really important about a business. I think a lot of businesses kind of sell themselves too much, and then they can't keep up with all these things, like either monetarily or just in general.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. It's always good to be realistic.
It's the most important thing for us. I can't make someone listen to me. Maybe it might go in one ear out the other ear, but we are very intentional, very direct, and very clear whenever we're speaking to a prospective client about expectations, and what our process looks like and how long it might take before we can get them results. I will openly tell people that it took me 14 months before I got results for me. So if that's how long it took me to get results for me, if I tell you it's going to be longer or shorter, I'm not full of shit. That's just kind of how it is. So that's the most important thing for my partner and I whenever we're speaking to anyone.
Just on that point about how long you said, I was going to ask like how long it took for you to succeed in what you set out to do with this business.
Yeah. So I guess you're never done.
Yeah.
Well,
good. I mean,
more, but, so the first month that I started SEOlocale, I think it was June or July 2017. I think it was June. But first thing I did that first month, I spent cold calling. I called 1 million companies and somehow landed with like 14 clients. Haven't cold called since, thank God. So that was how we started, and that was obviously successful. But since then, I mean, we've grown quite a bit. So a year after I started, Nick, my partner, joined me. Now we have we're a team of 16. We have an SEO team, development team, project manager, social media team. We have a little over 200 clients now. So what success looks like, I don't know. As long as I'm providing for my family and Nick's providing for his family and our employees are happy and they're able to provide for their families, or not all of them have, like families, but as long as they can provide for themselves and do whatever they want to do, I mean, that's success to me. I like to think that we're almost helping our clients' dreams come true, to a degree. We have a client who's a painter, and he used to be the one doing all the work himself, and now he has a couple crews and he gets to hang out and play with his kids and do virtual estimates all day. So that's I guess his dream. That's a nice success story. I like to think that we help our clients get to that goal. But what the future holds, I mean, of course, I want to keep growing and keep getting bigger and keep doing cool things. But that's what right now, that's what success looks like for me.
That's really wholesome. I like that a lot. I mean, as long as you are doing what you set out to do, like, that's exactly what it sounds like you said. I understand that, it's always good to have more clients and all that, but that's just really nice. Do you think that there is a potential for you to expand outside of like the local sector, or is that something that you want to stay in?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely outside of that local sector. So right now we have roughly like a 70-30 split, local B2C businesses versus B2B clients. So I will work with anyone. It's not like if you're not a local company or even running a local SEO campaign, we can't work with you. We can help anyone. It just so happens, and as I mentioned before, kind of how we started, the reason we started local was I guess our into starting, and having, we had an office space before COVID, but being in an office setting and going out and meeting local businesses, that's just kind of how it happens. But yeah, I mean, I mentioned before, local businesses, not even necessarily local to Philadelphia, but local businesses are always going to be what started SEOlocale. They're always going to be the backbone of SEOlocale. That's how I grew this business, and I'm never going to abandon that part of us. But at the same time, we definitely want to expand more into B2B services. I'm willing to anyone who needs our help. I'm happy to work with them, as long as they're not doing anything illegal. And I do have a story or two of probably illegal companies reaching out to me.
That's horrible. I mean, I won't ask you about that just in case. Do you have a favorite business that you've worked with? Or maybe something that you just had never heard about that you thought was kind of unique or bizarre?
Well, what I didn't realize was so popular is the adult toy industry. And I know that you're laughing, but I swear to God, I mean, we've had multiple adult toy clients. And you won't believe, the type of stuff that these people are selling and like how much these people sell. So that's like one that was like pretty shocking.
I didn't expect that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's always my first go-to. And seriously, it's been like a lot, like a lot of...
I can't wait to put in the caption of this video, Marc and Shannon talk about marketing tips, adult toys, and...
It's crazy. And it's certainly it's always a little bit awkward for the team, like when they're working on the websites and stuff, as you could imagine. But it's a huge industry. They say stuff.
A good office environment. I mean, probably awkward, but kind of funny. At least you get some giggles in the day.
Yeah. It definitely has always been an interesting. The only other favorite or unique or kind of campaigns that we've run, or there'll be times where we're very data driven, and part of course what we do is we do the keyword research to determine, here are the keywords that your potential customers are searching for. This is the campaign that we have to build around. But there are times where people are either in a very niche industry, or people might be doing something very unique that hasn't quite been done before. So there isn't really always very strong data to support the keywords that we want to target. Oftentimes it'll come up 0 or not applicable, whatever, as you go through these tools. So there have been times where we've relied on our clients come to us and saying, I promise you, if you can get me ranked for this keyword, I'm going to get business. So we did. We've done that, and it's worked incredibly well. So it's sometimes I just always think it's so interesting that sometimes your clients do know better than you. It doesn't matter what your data says. They know what's going on in their world much more than you do. They're an expert in what they do. You're an expert in what you do. And it's okay to take feedback from your clients sometimes. And those have been some of our most successful campaigns.
I think that's really admirable. I think there's a lot of companies that will think, or companies or businesses that think they know better than their clients. And I think that's their downfall a lot of the time. Like, sometimes I understand there's a client that comes to you for advice or a service, and they might be kind of like, I do know better, but it's like, why would you be coming to me if you did know better? But I understand, like, there's a balance.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, especially, as digital marketers, we're so reliant on data and what we're seeing. So, we have to so many times clearly state, in writing, hey, just so you guys know, if it doesn't work, we are not recommending to go through this strategy, or these are not keywords we recommend going after. And they just say, like, don't care, trust me, do it. And so we did, and it's worked out incredibly well. So, I love that we have that type of collaboration with our clients, and, we can have that type of dialogue. But those are some of my favorite ones.
That's really nice. It's good to be able to learn from your customers just as much as they can learn from you. That's always really nice to hear. So, yeah. Here's the best part of the episode, the most fun part. I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions about Philadelphia. Let's see. It's not a quiz.
Okay.
No pressure. Okay. First word you think when you hear Philadelphia. When you hear the word Philadelphia, what comes to you? First word.
Rocky.
Okay. Perfect. What celebrity do you think when you think of Philadelphia? Say Rocky.
No, I'd say Allen Iverson.
Okay. Favorite cheesesteak spot?
D'Alessandro's.
There. I live right by there. I also really like Chubby's across the street. I feel like Chubby's is underrated.
Yeah, I've heard Chubby's. There's also one right out by I live. It's in Langhorne. It's called Curly's. Phenomenal.
I will be writing that.
Yeah, phenomenal steak.
There's a really good steak in It's okay. There's a glass box in Center City. And you go down into the train, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know why I can't remember the name.
It's in the train station?
Connected to Suburban Station. Definitely in the train station, but it's like the cleanest little kind of, it looks like a lunchroom. It's so clean, but it has a bunch of there's this place in there called Cheesesteak & Co. It was started by a friend of a friend's parent that I know. Best cheesesteak I've ever had in the whole city, but they're only open on weekdays during work hours. So it's like the most inconvenient time to be open ever, because I can never go there. I have no time to get there to ever go. But if you're ever off on a day and you really want a cheesesteak, they're great. Anyway.
I haven't been in a train station in a long time. But yeah, I'm going to have to remember that. Also, the Knicks is really good too.
The Knicks?
Yeah, DINICS. It's in it's on 10th and Filbert in that what's that marketplace called? But yeah.
I will keep this in mind. This is great.
Yeah. Really good.
Sorry, Frank, Geno's and Pat's. I'm sorry. They're just horse traps.
They kind of
they've been really successful.
They got a bit down, in my opinion. But.
Yeah, I get it. So, what's one small business that you frequently help small businesses? Have one that is like your favorite that you go to a lot?
In Philadelphia? The formerly known as Stowe's Bar. which has since moved to Center City.
I didn't even know it moved to Center City. I thought it was replaced by that beer garden.
Beer garden it's the same owner.
I noticed that.
And the Old City Beer Garden is Stowe's. That hasn't moved. That's still there. But the Stowe's bar building has moved to Center City, and it's a new name as well. It's good things.
Oh, that's incredible. Have you been there since it?
Yeah, of course. I talk to the owner regularly.
Oh, that's great. I know a lot of my sister and her friends have been going to Stowe's since they moved to Philadelphia 10 years ago. They love that bar. I've been there a few times. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
All right. And then what is your favorite place for a drink or a meal? I mean, it might be Stowe's. Have a meal.
for a meal? No. Favorite restaurant, probably Philadelphia. It's in the Italian market on 9th and Christian, I think. But yeah, it's phenomenal. Small family owned. My family's been going there for ever. Amazing.
All right. I'm getting great recommendations. Thank you. This is all for me, not for any of the audience. It's all for me.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
So all these are very positive, don't mean to be negative at all, but if you were to change anything about Philadelphia, what would it be?
I would change the owners of the 76ers.
That's super fair. I feel like I might get that answer a lot.
I hope so. I hope for some reason they're also listening.
If someone doesn't agree, it's okay. I'll have a good fight in the comments. And then finally, what's your favorite neighborhood?
Old City, not even close. Yeah.
Fair. Do you have a favorite restaurant in Old City?
Do I have a favorite restaurant in Old City?
Yeah.
I don't think I do. I do have a lot that I would frequent relatively. I guess maybe Han Dynasty would probably be my favorite. Han Dynasty or Budokan.
I have a friend that at that exact one. They're moving though, or something like that.
Oh, are they?
I believe so. I saw them move out a bunch of stuff. It's a huge location, so it makes sense. It's beautiful though. I love the ceiling.
Yeah, those are probably my favorite in Old City.
There's a hand pie place that is so good in Old City, but you can only get them from 8 a.m. to noon, and then they're sold out. So if you're ever in the area on a weekend,
yeah,
right.
I'll definitely have to check it out.
All right. Well, thank you so much. You proved that you're a native Philadelphian. You passed the test. And thank you so much for all of your advice today and just getting to know you a little bit more. I really appreciate it. And it sounds like you're doing really good work here. So I appreciate that. Philadelphians that help Philadelphians is the best type of person to have on here. So I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate being on here as well. Thank you.
All right. And thank you, everyone in the audience, for watching or listening today. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. Thank you so much.
This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day. Carefully crafted for you by humans, so meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.